Hey guys, Miss Distel here. Today we're going to start with a closer look at photosynthesis, and for this video we're really just going to cover the background information, which is the front of your packet. So please follow along with me as we go through this. Alright, starting off, photosynthesis uses the energy of sunlight. Remember, we're not making energy or anything like that. So we're using the energy of sunlight to make energy-rich products. So we're talking about anabolic pathways, right? The energy-rich products that we're talking about are glucose and oxygen. But we also are using reactants that do not contain a lot of energy. So things like carbon dioxide and water. And you are going to want to know the general equation, the reaction for photosynthesis. You want to remember your coefficients. So we take 6 CO2s and 6 waters. We use the sunlight energy to drive these reactions, and we produce C6H12O6, glucose, and oxygen. So remember your coefficients there, make sure everything is all balanced. All right. In the leaves, there are many different kinds of cells. The mesophyll of the leaves, so this is a special kind of cell, is going to contain most of the chloroplasts. Okay, this is where photosynthesis is mostly occurring. But the leaves also have pores or openings called stoma. And the purpose of the stoma is to allow gases to come in and out, so gas exchange within the leaf. So bringing CO2 in, letting oxygen go out. But in order for the stoma to open and close, there are certain kinds of cells that are responsible for opening and closing the stoma. So let's take a closer look at these cells. These are called guard cells. So this is a picture pointing to the guard cells here. Right? And the opening in between is the stoma. So here you have your cell wall, your chloroplast, and then your vacuole. When the guard cells are nice and full of water, they swell up, and that creates the opening. When the guard cells are lacking water, they're kind of shriveled, they flatten out, and the stoma is closed. Later we'll talk about how this is good in controlling the amount of water loss for a plant also. But if you think about this picture, when the stoma are nice and full and plump of water, then the stoma are open. Okay. All right, chloroplasts are structured to undergo light-dependent and light-independent reactions. Sorry, give me a second here. I'm talking faster than I can write. All right. These are the two main steps of photosynthesis. This is the photo part. This is the synthesis part. Okay. In this blank here, we're going to have chlorophyll and other pigments absorb various wavelengths of light. We have two basic types of chlorophyll. You have the A and the B version. They're responsible for photosynthesis. Some of the other pigments can absorb different wavelengths of light, or they can provide photoprotection, like we talked about in the overview notes. But chlorophyll absorbs violet, blue, red. Those are the best wavelengths. But remember, chlorophyll is green because it reflects green light. That's why it looks green to us. So here is the basic structure of a chloroplast. You have an outer membrane and you have an inner membrane. So you have a double membrane. These stacks, they look like stacks of coins. These are called granum is one stack, grana is several. The space in between all of these stacks is called the stroma. Be careful because stroma and stoma are very different things. and it's one R makes the difference. So be careful when you're writing and speaking about what are the two parts. Okay, what do they do? And then each individual, what I like to call coin, is actually called a thylakoid. And I want you to notice that the thylakoids are hollow on the inside. They have a space on the inside. That's called a lumen, but that'll become really important later when we talk about photosynthesis. So each thylakoid, each one of these little coins, has many photosystems. And these are going to be important for the light-dependent reactions. We need these for the light-dependent reactions. We're going to get into this in the next video, but basically a photosystem is going to have three main parts. You have what's called a light harvesting complex. So a system that collects all of the light. You're going to have an electron transport chain or transport system. And you also have pigment. Remember that a pigment is anything, or a substance, I should say, that is capable of absorbing light. Remember that chlorophyll is one specific type of pigment. That's it for this video. You can click on the next ones to watch the light-dependent reactions, the light-independent reactions, and also cyclic versus non-cyclic electron flow.